you care for, but also to their loved one and to our community. And that's what we're really going to focus.
Did we lose her? Oh, there she
Yes, ma'am.
I think she may have gotten disconnected. Hold 1 second. She'll probably join right back, ladies.
There she is.
Miss Melissa,
Yes, ma'am.
I need to speak with you after we're finished.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, thank you. You know who this is?
Yes, Miss Jackson.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lost her.
I see you, Miss Branch.
Oh, yes. Woo. I don't know what happened to
I
it.
got it, but it dropped me for some time there. I'm going to go to screen share.
Yeah, let me make sure that you are co-host. There you go.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sorry for the drop screen. It just completely dropped. Okay, so let's go to screen share. Share, and now we will go to my presentation. Can you see that okay?
Yes.
This morning, so sorry for the little bit of trouble they're starting. It was dropping me in this room. So they asked me to come to you today in honor not just of the Veterans Day, but in honor of National Caregiver Month. Now, how many of you know that November is National Caregiving Month? And I'll be surprised if very many hands go up, because I have been kind of patting all of our caregivers, you and I, on our back all month, and it seems few people are aware. But I found this slide that kind of really spoke to me, and it said, just being there for someone can sometimes bring hope when all things seem hopeless. And I think that really speaks to part of what you do every single day in your role as a caregiver. So I want to continue and just say, we have been spending some extra time this November out of the senior source, really promoting this concept of supporting caregivers by saying, reach out, lend a hand, and get creative. And so how do we promote that for other individuals? As we have been sharing educational programs. We started this week on Tuesday, kind of how to help caregivers get started. Next week, we're going to focus on networking and mobilizing community resources. You all are one of those. The following week, it will be taking care of yourself and then finding the joy in caregiving. And so this is kind of the approach that we have taken in terms of celebrating National Caregiver Month. So can you see me if I put my hat on, Melissa? No, I don't think you can. Nope, it's not going to show me. Well, I need you to know that I have a special hat on today. And so one of the things Melissa asked me to do today was kind of do something a little bit fun. So I have this slide where you can see all of these hats. And I like to start with this and just picture me with a funny little hat on right now. I'll show it to you later. But to say that as a caregiver, we wear many hats. So first, as a senior companion, and myself as a caregiver support specialist at the Senior Source, we are part of what is called the Formal Caregiving Network. We are part of that 20% of care that is provided to older adults in our neighborhoods, in our community, in our country. In that role, we may wear many hats. Some days we feel like a nurse, a coach, a cook, a doctor. Some days we feel like a magician. And I don't have a magician hat, but I wore another hat just to say we wear many hats. But as I take my hat off and I ask you to do the same, think a minute about the other roles you play as caregiver outside of your role as a senior companion. Most of you, and also myself, are involved in helping another individual, often an elder relative, someone on our street, a neighbor, a friend, someone who is in our faith community. There are 58 million of us who are called informal caregivers, and we are the informal network in this country. And our older citizens and our older residents would not be able to make it without us. So you today are really playing two roles. And so get those hats out and know that you are wearing many hats. You are part of the formal network and the informal network. So most of what we want to do today is kind of a little bit of fun stuff, but I want to start with something serious because I'm amazed a lot of people have never seen this. So you can do a show of hands for Melanie and for Constance and for Melissa, but how many of you have ever heard of a caregiver bill of rights? This was actually written by a lady named Jo Horn back in 1985, and this many years later, a lot of folks are not familiar with it, and this is going to be the only really serious part of our presentation today. But I want to read it to you, and I want you to think about it in your informal role. So when you are helping a family member, a neighbor, a church friend, that you as a caregiver are so important. Our hat is off to you. We cannot take care of people without you. But also that you have to take care of yourself. And part of that is, I have the right to. So I'm going to read this. Just stick with me if you can, and hopefully you can see the screen. I have the right to take care of myself. This is not an act of selfishness. It will give me the capacity to better care for my loved one. I have the right to seek help from others, even though my relative might object sometimes. I have to know my own limits. I have the right to maintain facets of my own life that don't always include the person that I care for, just so I can stay healthy. I have the right to get angry sometimes, to be depressed, and to express other difficult feelings and emotions occasionally, just not all the time. I have the right to reject an attempt by my relative to manipulate me through guilt, anger, or depression. I can own that one. I am a part-time caregiver for a family member, so I'm going to click that one for me. I have the right to receive consideration, affection, forgiveness, and acceptance for what I do for my loved one, for as long as I offer those qualities in return. And I think this one's really good. We just give such consideration, affection, forgiveness, and acceptance every day, whether it's in our formal hat when we're working with our assigned companion, or it's with someone in our home or community. Okay, the last three. I have the right to take pride in what I am accomplishing and to applaud the courage it has sometimes taken to meet the needs of my relatives. So, round of applause. I have the right to protect my individuality and my right to make a life for myself that will sustain me in the time when my relative no longer needs my full-time help. So also in your senior companion role, there will be periodic times when we lose one of the folks we're caring for, and we want to be in the physical and emotional state to begin to care for another person. And the last one is to expect and demand that as new strides are made in finding resources to aid physically and mentally impaired older adults in our country, that similar strides will be made toward aiding and supporting caregivers. So when Jo Horn wrote this, remember this was 1985, we didn't have much caregiver support funding at that point in time. And she wanted it to be very clear that was a goal of hers. And we can talk later, just briefly, it's not the focus today, but there have been a few strides made in that avenue. So I see a hand up. I don't know whether we want to continue or ask Miss Kelly. Do you have a question now, Miss Kelly? Okay,
Miss Kelly, you're muted. If you were trying to ask a question, you're muted.
Melanie, I have a plumber coming to check my hot water heater out. It has been out since Sunday, and I may have to get off. That's what I wanted to tell you.
Okay, that's fine, Miss Kelly. If you need to
Miss
drop,
Kelly?
just go ahead.
Okay,
Miss
thank
Kelly,
you.
thank you for joining us, and I hope you can see a little bit more, but hot water is one of the things that we do love. Melanie, I want to make this available if any other folks would like a copy of it later. I think it's interesting because a lot of folks have not seen this. So as we continue, that's kind of the serious infrastructure to start from today. And now I want to go on and act a little silly and blow this up, because that's what I think Melissa wanted today, is what's a little bit of fun that we can have with this. So I put together what I'm calling my top 10 things for the Caregiver Bill of Rights, but it may not be yours. So I put up some sticky notes here because you can start to make your own Caregiver Bill of Rights. What is it that can really bring joy and satisfaction and fun into the role you play with your companions, as well as the role that you play in your informal loved one network? So I put together some not serious things because I think we have the right to not take myself or yourself so seriously all the time. It's funny, I think we've been applauded much of our lives for perfection. And we get used to perfection, and when we realize that sometimes we don't have to be so serious in our own lives or with other people, that we really relax and embrace and have a good time with life. So on this slide, I put down a caregiver moment number 12 joke that was shared with me by a caregiver of someone with dementia. This gentleman sent this and he said, you know, I came across this and I just want you to have it. He said, I live this moment every day. So it says, I just argued for 30 minutes to get my wife to wear matching socks. And then when we left the house, I realized I had my own shirt on backwards. So I hope that this will bring a smile to you, because it brought such a smile to me when this gentleman shared this with me. He said, you know, it reminded me I'm taking myself a little seriously and everything doesn't have to be perfect. He said, my wife had on slacks. It didn't really matter if she had matching socks on. I get in the car, my shirt's inside out and backwards. So if we can, I think we have the right to relax a little bit and not to take ourselves so seriously every day. The next one I'm going to share is we have the right, and I'm going to call it sometimes the responsibility, to bring the humor. And this particular person who does caregiver education suggests that we think of ourselves as a pineapple. Pineapple caregivers are tough on the outside. Oh, we're so sweet on the inside. And boy, if you rub us the wrong way, we get just a little prickly. Have you felt a pineapple and it's got the prickle on the outside? So the point of this is, look at this pineapple. It makes me smile. Got your shades on, you got your hair up. That we can bring the humor into our caregiving. So I have the right to bring the humor. Well, why would I do that? So I want to stop for a minute and say to you, close your eyes and think of something kind of, you know, what are you worried about today and stressful? And as I did that, I wish you could observe me do that. My hands clenched together and my shoulders were tight. I could feel myself get tense. My blood pressure is going to increase. But now I'm going to throw my arms up. I'm looking at Melanie. Melanie always makes me smile. So I'm going to smile. And now I'm going to go, Melanie, you also make me laugh. Laughter is a powerful medicine. And I've listed just a few things on this slide that humor, laughter, and smiling do for us. So I have the right to laugh and smile. And not just for fun, but because it actually gives instant relaxation, lowers the blood pressure, that boosts our immune system. It improves our cardiovascular blood flow that protects our heart and pushes that blood flow to the brain. When we laugh, those natural cells in our body are released that are protective for us. Laughter, so think about it again. Tense up and then relax a minute and go, ha, 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 ha. You feel the difference in your lungs. Oxygen is healing and begins to flow. Laughter is good medicine. It also reduces our stress, depression, anxiety, fear. That in turn elevates our mood, increases our energy, which allows us to be more active. It also has that little bit of, contagious spirit where when you are a smiler or you are a laughter person, you notice that other people become comfortable with you, and it makes others really comfortable in your company. So take just a moment, you don't have to tell me, but think about the last time you had a really good laugh. What was it that brought that spirit to you? How did it feel? Mark Twain said, when you laugh, your mind, your body, and your spirit change. So I just want to say, number 9, bring the humor. Laughter is powerful medicine. Okay, my number 8 is dance. So I want everybody to get your arms going. And whether you're in your chair, I'm in a swivel chair, so I'm swiveling. I tried to pick some pictures, that's it, Melly, of different kinds of dancing, but I'm going to tell you about my group. I am a baby boomer, and I should be embarrassed to say that my period of active dancing was during, the spin balls and the disco era. Now, maybe you should be embarrassed to say that because the music really didn't have much import in the lyrics. But as I look back on that period when we were all dancing, it was the happiest time. We were all so healthy. We danced and we danced and we had fun. We smiled, we laughed, and our health and our mental health were really good because of disco. Now, it doesn't matter if you were somebody who likes country western music, whether you are a swing dancer, whether you are a flamenco dancer. It just happened to be that my era was disco. And so I find myself in the kitchen. If I'm cooking a long meal, what do I turn on? I turn on Kool and the Gang and Earth, Wind, and Fire. I start moving while I'm cooking, and I feel so good and happy again. So I feel like I have the right to dance again and enjoy my life and to bring that joy to somebody else. So that's my number 8. My number 7 is that I have the right to let someone else do something for me, even if it isn't done quite right. So some of us have an easier time with this than others, but I put a glass of spilled milk on here because that's often the adage we use. Don't cry over a glass of spilled milk because we can clean it up. But I also put the couple who are folding clothes because we use this activity a lot with individuals with Alzheimer's disease. They need some meaningful activity, and some of our caregivers just keep a basket of clothing and towels, etc., for them to just fold over and over and over. And it doesn't matter if the clothes are folded right, whether the towels are folded right. It's an activity. So sometimes I, as a caregiver, have to let someone else do something, even if it's not just perfect, and accept their offer to assist me. For me, I'm going to go to number 6, and my number 6 is I have the right to try out a new activity. And I put several here because I think you know, we think about the things that we have done most of our life that we often will still find joy in. I personally enjoy walking and gardening and reading, live music, exercise. But, you know, there were a lot of changes that came to us during COVID, and many of us adapted and started some new things. Folks joined art classes online and realized that they had never tried art and loved it. Some people developed a home system with a video or a Wii system for sports. So the point here is just I have the right to try something new. Sometimes trying something new is good for us and also for the people that we care for. Number 5, I had another hat for you, so I actually had 2 hats. Sometimes it's just fun to dress up for fun. And so whether you want to dress up on Halloween and act silly, greet kids at the door, and let them be delighted in seeing what you choose to dress up today, or whether you want to put on a hat and a fancy dress because we haven't done that in a couple of years, but I have the right to do something that is fun and makes me feel good as a caregiver. So this one is really challenging. I hear from caregivers every day that they have too much stuff, but they don't know how to get started on elimination. And I'm not encouraging you to get rid of things, but I am saying you have the right to be free of stuff if you so choose, because sometimes when we clean that slate and we're looking at a little bit of a freer space, it is refreshing to us and an emotional boost. So for some of us, just cleaning up our space a little bit, freeing ourselves of some of the stuff in our lives makes us kind of alive again and rejuvenated. So along with that, I am not an advocate of a dirty house, but sometimes we can let the dust bunny sit for a day while we do something to take care of ourselves or another person. We don't have to clean every single Thursday of our life unless there is some pressing infection control reason to do so. So maybe let the dust bunny sit and play cards or dominoes or music or sit on the porch and enjoy the beautiful day. So I, as a caregiver, have the right to do that once in a while. There isn't a right and wrong on when I clean. I'm back to one we kind of started with. I have the right to laugh on purpose. I put this here because I want you to really look at the faces on the slide. And for those of you who may be on the phone, what you're seeing is everybody's mouth is wide open. You can see their whole body is participating in laughter. And when we create laughter on purpose, it shows and shines through our entire life and our body, but it also is contagious to other individuals. So if we can do nothing more today for ourselves as a caregiver, but also for those other individuals that we impact, it's to laugh and smile and see if it doesn't catch on. Laughter is contagious. My top one is that I have the right to be, so I love to use little cute pictures, to be happy and to be loved. So as a caregiver, I am able to provide care to other individuals in a more positive manner and for a longer period of time if I'm happy, if I've been to the doctor, if I got a good night's sleep and a good breakfast, if I feel loved myself. Often caregivers put everybody else first. And here today, we want to challenge you to develop your own top 10 list of I have a right. I do have a right to be a happy caregiver, and I have a right to be loved. So how do we kind of finish this up and talk about exploring that great benefit of laughter and smiling? Well, so for some folks, we start here. We say for a week, focus specifically on smiling more. So I have some caregivers who start the day with a sticky pad. I have one, but you can't see it right here. And they draw a little smiley face on it, and they put it on their mirror before they go to bed. So when they get up in the morning, they're actually looking at that smiley face. And you won't believe it, but you smile when you look at a smiley face. And they put these little pictures strategically on their toaster oven, on their refrigerator, on their coffee pot, because you'll look at the smile and you automatically respond. Remember, your face muscles, your emotions follow when you begin to smile. So if you close your eyes for me for just a moment and be very still, and then kind of open up with a big smile. And you see Melanie, well, she glows all the time, but her shoulders increased and you could see her move into the emotion. So smiling, you start with smiling, post a little sticky note of a smiley face every single day. It gets to be a habit like anything else in our lives. I have a few caregivers who've taken that to the next step. And their next step is they post a gratitude every morning. So they get up and they see their smiley face and then they write down something. Today, I am grateful that we had a welcome rainstorm last night. Today, I am grateful that the Senior Companion Program is here to help me. Today, I'm grateful I have a job to go to that I love. But they post a gratitude, and what they find is that just grows and grows in terms of how they feel about things. And so remember that a smile is contagious. If you specifically are working with someone with dementia, what I think you will find is the more you smile and laugh, the more comfortable that person becomes. Sometimes when we work with someone with Alzheimer's, we become part of their process of thinking because their brain cells have changed. And in that, they pick up our mood and our spirit, but they will respond to your emotion. And when you smile, it just brings out a different emotion. I want to finish today with another list that I pulled, and not because you need to know every single item on this list, but we have offered some of these suggestions to individuals this month. So as we highlight you as the caregiver, we want to suggest for individuals involved in your life, or as you are supporting other caregivers, not just in your job, that there's ways to help people. And during November, we really trying to highlight how we can go out of our way to do some things for other people who are caregivers. So the first and foremost here is just to really listen to them. Sometimes we just need somebody to listen without being judgmental. I have a caregiver right now who says to me, Jane, I feel like this person has become, she calls it her frenemy. So she says, this is such a good friend of mine, but I don't want to talk with her anymore about my mom, because she says, you just need to put your mom in a care facility and bring her to Dallas and be over this. She said, I need to talk to someone right now who really listens without being judgmental. So we can offer that to people and expect that in return. The gift of time is one of the most valuable things that we offer people, but not just calling them and saying, how can I help you? Because they may say, well, I don't know. But actually physically offering a gift of time by going in person, bringing food or groceries, going in and doing the laundry, washing their car or their windows, sending them to the spa, running errands for them, buying an unexpected gift, even if it's just from the dollar store. It's something to lighten up the day of a caregiver. Prepay food delivery, rake their leaves, offer them respite is one of the most important things that you do in the Senior Companion Program. Many of you are working with older adults in which the person that you provide respite care for, that's the only time they ever get out by themselves. And so it's such a valuable service. We can clean out a garage or a closet, get our kids or our grandchildren or great-grandchildren to read to an older adult, do a game day, a concert, et cetera, et cetera. The list is endless. But my point is that the things that we can bring to caregivers, both you as a professional caregiver, but also you as that very important informal caregiver. There are 58 million of us, so there are a lot of us. I am going to stop sharing for just a moment because, Melanie, let's see if, can you see me now? I want to show you that I really did bring my hats. So I brought this hat to be a little bit silly. First of all, to call this a bit of my professional hat, because as a formal caregiver through an agency, just like your role as a companion, I have one hat. But I also brought my little hat here that I wear in the sun. So I want to flip up the brim so you can see. It's a little flippy hat. And this is my informal caregiver hat. This is my hat I'm trying to encourage you today to smile, be silly, laugh. Make your top 10 list. So I have my scarf with me too, just to dress it up a little more. Make your list. Get your sticky note. Put a smiley face on it. And it is your right to be a happy caregiver, to be so proud of the work that you are doing as a senior companion, but also as a family member, a loved one, a neighbor, a caregiver in this world. Pass the word that this is, November is Caregiver Month. If you have a loved one that you are concerned about in the caregiving role, let them know that we are doing programs all month just for them. They can view them anytime on the Senior Source Facebook Live page. So please, please, we're taping them. Get involved, but don't forget to smile. Melanie and Constance and Melissa, thank you always for letting me speak to your group. I can't wait till I see you all face to face.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Jane? Just unmute yourself. I believe is it *6, Melanie?
Yep, if you're on the phone and you have a question for Jane, unmute yourself by hitting *6 on the phone. Miss Avis Smith, I see your hand raised. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. Is there a way to get a copy of these top 20 ways to offer that assistance and the different areas that she had? Can you hear me, Melanie?
Yes.
I think what I shared were mainly just fun little things from my perspective, but Melissa does have the slides. If you would like any of the content, she can email that to you or send that out. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Ms. Smith. Anybody else have a question before Jane drops off? Again, if you're on the phone, you can hit *6 to unmute yourself.
Hello. Hi, this is Mae Jackson. I have not necessarily a question, but I have a comment.
Go ahead, Ms. Jackson.
All right. I love that about folding up the clothes, have given them something to do. But in the past, I have asked the family members if they had old photos or old albums to see if my client at that time could identify some of the people from her era, I guess, and she recognized a lot of them. So photos are.
Absolutely. We love the idea of the photo albums, and it works with a lot of folks. Those old photos come back and trigger memories. Not with everybody, but it's trial and error. It's just like your top 10 would be different than mine. Try things out, and I think photos are so powerful with individuals. Thank you for sharing that tip, that caregiver tip.
Hearing Ms. Jackson talk about photos makes me also think of music in that way too. Music is a great way to keep them engaged.
And you know, you can dance in your chair if you can't dance on the floor. So
that's right.
And picture me with Earth, Wind, and Fire. So, thank you, ladies, so much. And I look forward to some face-to-face time with you, companions. Thank you for your service to our community. Bye-bye, ladies.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
All right, to add to what Jane has spoken about, and it's great information, we're going to break out into break rooms, and we have 2 questions for you. So it's kind of leading off for what she said. So you're saying, I have the right to take care of myself. What are you going to do to take care of yourself? What is the one thing you're going to do to help take care of yourself? And the second question is, I have the right to let someone else do it, even if it's not quite right. Who is your someone else? So those are 2 questions. How are you going to take care of yourself, and who is your someone else? So we will break you up into groups. You're going to go into your group, answer those questions. You have about 10 minutes, and then you will be coming back to the main room. Anybody have any questions? All right, so I will see you in a little bit.
Get my speaker on.
Miss Jackson, did you go to a room?
Good morning.
Hi, Miss Lotus. Hi, Miss
I
Lotus.
know. Good morning. Hi. I'm running late in the meeting. I couldn't get into it.
Oh, no worries. They're in everybody's in breakout room, so they should be coming out here in about 3 more minutes. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. So everybody, I don't want to send you a room and then come right back back in 2 minutes. So
Okay.
yeah, we'll have them coming back here in a minute.
Okay. I was gonna ask you. Well, I
Mhm.
got you there.
Yeah.
I got 80 hours vacations.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know off the top of my head. Do you have your little card with you? 'Cause your card will tell you.
Yeah, I know. It told me I had 80 hours
Okay.
vacation, but
Yeah.
I wanted to see if I could get 1 week for the week of Thanksgiving.
Okay. Talk to me afterwards. If not, I'll call you after the meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay. How you been doing?
Good. Good. Just getting everybody here. Who just came on?
Billy Williams, I've been on, but my phone went off when you was asking 2 questions. When my phone went silent, so I redialed over.
Oh, okay. And this is Miss Williams? Willie Williams?
Yes, it is. Willie
Okay.
Williams.
I just want to make sure I put the right name to the right number.
Okay.
There we go. And everybody should be coming back in about a minute or so.
Oh,
So,
okay. Then I went off.
Yeah.
The phone
Yeah.
off. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Melissa, what's the breakout room? Is that for?
We just had a presentation from Jane, so we just did a breakout room from what we just learned from her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Can I see that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now. So we're
Oh,
streaming it. So yeah, we can definitely have it on there. You
okay.
could definitely see it afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to know what it was about.
Yeah, no worries. It's filming on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody should be coming back here in about 20 seconds.
Okay.
All right, they're coming back. Well, they're coming back in about a minute, sorry.
Okay.
I see you, Miss Paris.
Yeah, we're back. Is
We
everybody back? Is well,
Is
not
everybody
quite.
back?
Not
Not
quite
everybody,
everybody.
not everybody, but we have a couple. The room will be
Oh,
closing in about
okay.
10 seconds. So everybody be
Okay.
coming back here in a
I
few
never,
seconds.
I never did get in with my participant. Her
Oh,
phone,
yeah.
Miss
Yeah.
McAfee.
Oh, okay. We'll talk to y'all later then.
All right.
Oh, Miss Henry, we're still here. Y'all just
Oh,
came.
okay.
Yeah, we're
Y'all
still
just
here.
came back to the main
Oh,
room.
you heard? Oh, okay.
We're all coming back to the main room now.
All right.
Melissa.
Did we need to
Yes,
ourselves
ma'am.
on mute? On mute again?
Yeah, if y'all can mute so that we don't have feedback and everything, that would be perfect.
Okay. You want to put me?
Melissa.
Okay.
Yes.
Melissa, I have
Yes.
a question.
Yes.
In my group, it said I was in room 9, and I was supposed to be with 3 other people, but they were all, muted with red and video gone. I never did get anybody. I kept calling and calling and calling.
Oh,
When I pulled
well.
it up, it was 4 of us, but I was the only one in the room.
They might have been might not had a camera because they're on the phone instead of
But
through
they couldn't hear
Zoom.
me talk because I was talking. I
I
said
believe
hello, hello,
so.
hello.
Oh, no.
I
Yes,
was with Knighton
It was
and
just us 3 in
McClinton
ours. Miss
and Mary
Bashir, Miss
Williams,
Holmes.
but
Oh,
there was nobody saying anything.
and I
Hmm.
experienced the same thing. It was only 2 of us, but her phone was on mute. So I never
Yeah,
did.
they probably just didn't unmute it.
Yeah, I kept
I'm sorry.
That's
This is
okay.
Mary
Because it was
Williams.
3 of us. It was 3
This
of
is
us,
Mary
Miss
Williams.
Holmes,
I
Miss
didn't
Bashir.
unmute because I'm babysitting and I've been doing too much interruption. So that's why I didn't unmute.
This is
Oh.
Okay, Miss Williams.
All right, ladies. Well, I hope you enjoyed doing that. I really hope you enjoyed Jane's presentation.
Well, before we move on,
Yeah.
Miss Smith or Miss Farley, did you want to share what yours was since you didn't get to have a discussion about it?
Okay, I didn't know it was Sue Smith. So which one you talking about?
Miss Ava Smith.
No, I mean I'm okay. I kept raising my hand trying to get somebody's attention to figure out so I don't have this problem next time.
Okay.
But no, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miss Smith.
Hold on, Miss Jones. I want to see
okay.
if Miss Farley wanted to share anything.
Well, not my taking care of myself. I'm really focusing more on taking care of myself now. Since well, I'm not going to talk to you about that now, but also letting others do. I have a hard time sometimes doing that because I have a routine that I do every morning, and now I have someone that's supposed to be doing it, and I get up and do it anyway. So, but I'm working on that.
I think that's something we can all work on, honestly.
I think we all need to.
And one thing I do want to mention, y'all, if we go into breakout rooms and you aren't able to talk, please just unmute and let the person know the reason why you can't participate. If you're at a doctor's office or there's a lot of background noise, so that they don't feel like we put them in a room by themselves. So if you hear someone reaching out, just please respond, unmute for a second and let them know, and just offer that common courtesy, okay?
And remember, you could always call the monitor. So you could always ask for them to come in. So you could always ask for someone to come in.
Miss Jones, Dorothy Jones, did you have a comment?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to let Miss Smith know I was glad to see her because she's on my calling list. Miss Smith, you doing all right?
Thank you. Yeah. Come on.
Miss Smith, you're muted. Miss Ava Smith, you're muted.
Yes, ma'am. I'm doing fine.
Good. You are on my calling list, so and I just want to make sure that you're doing fine. And of course, if I'm not able to reach you on the phone, I'm texting you as well. You can text me back.
And I get your text all the time.
Yes, ma'am. Good seeing you.
Yes, ma'am.
God bless you.
But Melanie, I was gonna ask when you're in the room and I hit the help button and I also hit the button that said to see who I was in my group. I was able to see that, and I could see that I was unmuted and these other 3 people wasn't. What do I do in answer like that? Because that was just 10 minutes. I was just sitting there.
You said you did hit the help button?
I did. I hit that help button, and then I also raised my hand. I did everything I knew to do. That was the first time it ever happened, but I wouldn't want to be sitting here just 10 minutes just sitting here.
You could always leave the room also and come into the main room. It gives you an option
to do that. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. That's a learning experience.
All right. Well, thank y'all for participating in that. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Income verification, ladies. It's that time of year and everybody knows what we need to do. So just remember when you start getting your income verification to either fax it, fax a copy, or email. There's our email address, which is also in your newsletters. It's always on the back page. And then you can always mail it to us with your timesheet or something like that. So just letting you know, it's that time of year that you should be getting them. So just want to remind you that we will need those. Melanie, do I need to, anything else?
No, I would just add that please, the earlier you get them in, the better. We could check it off the list, be done with it. If we don't get the income verification by the end of January, we won't be able to pay you because we have to verify your income annually. And so January 30th is the deadline. So if you get your paperwork in early, go ahead and just make a copy of it and get it to us as soon as possible. Now, for some reason, you don't have yours by January 30th, give us a call. But most folks get theirs over the holidays. And so just be mindful that when you get it, go ahead and make a copy. You can fax it, you can email it, or you can mail it to us. Okay?
Okay.
Melanie, I have a question. I'm sending my things through the scan. Is it working out okay?
Say the last thing
Yes,
you
it
said.
is. It is. She's scanning. So yes, definitely if you can scan it, that would also be really easier for us too. So definitely if you can scan it, just scan it to the email address and we will receive that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I take a picture and send it that way?
If you email it, yes.
Yes, Ms. Jackson, if you take a picture, you still need to email it to us. Email it to the email address scp@theseniorsource.org. That email address goes to all three of us so we can make sure that like somebody definitely gets it. And email is the preferred way if you're going to send it digitally.
Is the email in the newsletter?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the email? Okay.
It's on the last page, right before the questions and answers from the last one.
Okay. Because you said that so fast and I'm not writing down anything, and you know, the memory thing is not going to work. So,
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's always in the newsletter.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Miss Calhoun.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I was under impression the email was SCP, and I thought I was told to leave out the and. SCP, at.
No, you have to put that at in there in order for it to get to us.
That's what okay. Okay. So what I do, with my phone, I just make copy of all the information.
Mm-hmm.
It makes it easier for me. I just make a copy of it.
Yes, ma'am. And if you have email, since you already have the copy, you could just send it right from your phone or your iPad or tablet, laptop, whatever you have. If you got that copy. But you do need to put that at symbol, SCP at seniorsource.org.
Melody?
Yes, Miss Anderson.
Did you get your little package yesterday?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
I've been enjoying myself.
Good.
Fine.
We have a little bit more information we need to get through. So I want to make sure we make the best use of everyone's time. Melissa, you want to move to the next slide?
Yes. So also, if you need direct service hours, think about delivering Meals on Wheels. We have 10 people right now that are doing Meals on Wheels. Ms. Flores, we have a whole bunch of people. Definitely think about doing this. I know I've heard stories from everybody and they're really enjoying it. So please think about delivering Meals on Wheels if you need direct service hours.
And I know some folks are still a little reluctant to go back into homes, especially with us heading into the winter months. And I understand, but just know that eventually that is the plan for everybody to go back in homes. In the meantime, though, this is a way to earn some extra service hours. We want you to continue making phone calls. That makes a big difference, but you're not going to earn, honestly, a whole bunch of hours making phone calls. This is another way to engage in service making a difference by dropping these meals off safely with masks. You're leaving it, at the door. You don't have to go in someone's home. So that creates that distance. So we're just asking those of you who have not signed up to consider it. And for those who have signed up, if you haven't committed to a regular route weekly, we really would like for you to commit to a regular route weekly, delivering meals. Any questions about that?
Yes, Melanie, I got one.
Go ahead, Ms. Flores.
I've signed up, but usually like I'm getting like 1 or 2 days. I wanted to do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and maybe Thursdays. But I'm gonna leave Thursday out because I want to get to the meetings.
Okay.
So I want to miss them. But like now I got one for November the 15th.
Okay.
So I don't know if you all can sign me up for those 3 days.
You, Ms. Flores, I will call you after, and we can talk about that after the meeting, because we would have to talk to Tracy.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. All right, ladies. Again, like Melanie says, this is going to be just a way to earn some of those hours until we're able to get back into the homes and centers. So think about providing Meals on Wheels.
I have a question. Yes, it's Olivia. I'm going to need some volunteers to deliver Meals on Wheels Thanksgiving. So if we volunteer for that, hello?
Yes, go ahead and ask your question.
If we volunteer on Thanksgiving Day, will we get paid?
So Ms. Holmes, you won't get paid. You won't get paid any more than the holiday pay that you would already be getting paid. So Thanksgiving is a paid holiday in the program. So you would get paid for that holiday. If you go and deliver Meals on Wheels, you won't get paid over and above the holiday pay.
That's fine.
But you would get mileage, right? Is that correct?
No, we can't pay mileage on holidays.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, ladies. Good question, though.
Yes, very good question.
So for the newsletter is going to be going out later today. You will see a new symbol, this little AmeriCorps symbol on your newsletter when a training counts on for your training hours for your timesheet. So definitely if a training symbol, we're calling it a training badge, if you see this, definitely try to participate in that particular event because that's going to count towards your training hours. So definitely you will see it on any activity that is provided through the senior source or different organizations. So definitely pay attention to seeing the symbol.
And for those of you that are on the phone, it's a blue circle with the AmeriCorps A, just like on the shirts that we just gave you. So that's what you're going to look for. So if you receive flyers in your newsletter and it's about different events that are taking place, only the ones that have this training badge on it will count as training for the program, meaning you earn training hours and can be paid for it. If there's a flyer and it does not have this training badge, that means we are sharing it with you for informational purposes. It's something we think could be helpful for you, and you are welcome to join, but you won't be paid for attending or participating through the program. Okay? It's just a way for us to try to clarify, because we want to provide you as much information about resources in the community, events that are happening, but we have very strict guidelines on being able to track attendance and participation. And for some things, we aren't going to be able to track attendance if it's put on by another organization. And so we still want to share it with you because it's good, helpful information for you, but we can't pay you for it. So that it won't have this training badge on it. But if it's something that is helpful information for you and we can pay for it, then we're gonna make sure we differentiate those so you all know when to mark your timesheet for participating in something and when not to, and when you can expect to be paid for participating in something. Any questions about that?
Yeah, I got one. So for the training, what do we write? We put 1 hour? Like
We'll tell you about today before we get off. We'll tell you how much to put on your timesheet today.
Oh,
Before we get off, okay?
okay.
Y'all should be excited about this. Yay, yay. Now you don't have to call and say, does this count for training? Does this count for training? You already know when you see that badge.
So that means you need to read your newsletter.
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah.
the next one you all get will have lots of information.
Lots.
So please make sure you read those. Melissa does a lot of work, you all, putting those newsletters together and going out and finding, not just good information, but fun information as well, to make sure that it's not just us, talking at you, but she does a lot of work trying to find things that are interesting as well. So please make sure that you are checking that newsletter and reading it to get the helpful information, and then just to not make Melissa's work be in vain.
Right.
Thanks for the t-shirt.
You are welcome, Ms. Williams.
For the trainings that we already attended, like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, do we not put those on our timesheet?
Yes, you should be marking anything that you want to be paid for on your timesheet. So if you're making phone calls, if you're delivering meals, if you are attending trainings, everything should be marked on your timesheet. So even today, even though I see you all here and I know you're here and I can print out a list to say you were here, it still should be marked on your timesheet that you were here today.
We don't see it, we can't pay you. So definitely make sure you put in all that time on there.
And I just want to remind you, I'm saying this because I recognize that we've had a year and a half, a little over a year and a half, doing things very differently than how we had established as a program. And so what we are trying to do is get back in the habit of doing things the way we were doing it before COVID.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm asking you all to start back tracking everything on your timesheet. Even if you talk to me and we had a conversation, and put it on your timesheet. It's just like when you all will come to the building before the pandemic, you sign in. So we knew you were there. You also wrote it on your timesheet. So that's what I'm asking you all to get back in the habit of doing, because we've, if you don't practice something, if it's not a habit, you'll lose it. And we've had a year and a half of not practicing our old habits. And so I want us to get back into those habits of remembering to track everything on our timesheet. Okay.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ms. Farley.
I did not get to attend the Zoom meeting last time, but I did look at
on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes.
How do I track that?
So you could put that on your timesheet, but if you're watching the replay on YouTube, then you will need to call and let us know. But still put it on your timesheet, okay? Because what we will do is take the attendance that we're able to pull from this meeting and look and see like, oh, these people attended the meeting. So if it's on your timesheet and I don't see your name in the list, then I'm either gonna call you and find out, hey, what happened here? But if you call and say, hey, I watched the replay, then Melissa can add your name to the list of folks who attended so that we already have that information. So if you missed the actual live meeting, and when we send out the link and you watch it on YouTube, let me just pause here and say, thank you for doing that, Ms. Farley. That's the whole purpose of why we send it to YouTube so that if you do miss it, you don't have to miss the information.
Okay.
So thank you for doing that. But just give us a call and let us know so we can make sure that we give you credit for attending and getting the information that we shared.
So
Okay.
I have to call you and let you know I looked at it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
We
Melanie,
may quiz you too, Miss Farley.
okay.
Miss Haynes, I think you had a
this-
question.
Well, about the pen pal, I mailed a card to her on November the 2nd. Do I put that on my timesheet or just leave it blank?
Miss Haynes, I'm gonna let Constance follow up with you after the meeting, one-on-one about that, okay?
All right, thanks.
All righty. Ms. Palmer, did you have a question?
Yes, I've been, Melanie, I got a new cell phone and I don't know how to work it, so I'm on my house phone. But
Okay.
I've been trying to delete ever since, and it's acting up. But I wanted to let you know, Miss.
Georgia Gibson is here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Hey,
Okay,
Miss
that's
Gibson. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. All right. So on the screen, those of you on Zoom, you'll see it says emergency pay. I wanted to talk with you all about this. So I have put in a request with our regional office to allow us to pay, to get approval to pay emergency pay to you all, because again, this pandemic is unprecedented, unpredictable, uncertain times, and it does dictate a lot of what we're able to do. So we aren't able to put you all back into homes without assuming a certain amount of risk. We're headed into the winter months, and there's a lot of caution around the winter months because folks expect cases to start increasing again with people going indoors a lot more. And so with that being said, I wanted to explain to you all that we're trying to, every time we get on here, especially the last few months after September, I feel like I keep repeating myself about us trying to figure out ways to keep you all whole with paying out stipends. And so this is one of the things that we're trying to do. I have put the request in. I'm waiting to hear back on approval on if we will be able to continue paying you all. But one of the requirements of us being able to pay you emergency pay is we have to pay out all your leave. So I know 2 weeks ago we got on here and I was very clear and like, hey, I'm advising or encouraging you all not to spend down your leave yet, because I want you all to have something in the coming months. I just wanted to come back and let you all know I have put this request in. I'm hopeful that it gets approved. If it does get approved, those of you who are not back in homes yet, if you're back in home serving your client, you could put me on mute. You don't have to listen to this because it does not apply to you if you are already back in homes with your client, okay? For those who are not back in homes with the client, if this emergency pay gets approved, then we will have to pay out all of your leave in order to pay you stipends for the next 10 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you're not back in homes, we will have to zero out your leave balance in order to pay you stipends for the next 10 weeks. And what that 10 weeks does is give us a little bit more time to get through the next couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully we don't have an increase in cases and we can start sending you back in homes and it's a lot safer. That's what this emergency pay request is about, is us trying to figure out a way to keep being able to pay you all stipends until we're able to safely get you all back in homes. Okay, so the folks who are in homes, you are already in homes, you will be paid for being in the homes. You will continue to accrue leave time. We do not have to pay out your leave time. This only applies to people who are not back in homes yet. Okay, so I just wanted to let you all know that if you get a really nice check it won't be the November one, but if your December one looks really nice, that's why, because we had to pay out your leave time and we got approved for the emergency pay. Okay.
What if you have one that you visit in the home and one that you don't?
If you're in the home, period, then this does not apply to you.
That's a good one. Are you visiting someone? Oh, she's on.
Yeah, I am. I had asked last month if I have a one that lives in my building. So I've been visiting her, but I thought I had got permission to go back in her home.
We'll
Because I
talk.
see her every day.
Yeah, let's talk after this.
Okay.
I have a question, Melody, or whoever.
Go ahead, Ms. Holmes.
Now, what do you mean 0 hours? That means that we can apply for all our leave, and then they'll bring us to 0, and then you all be able to pay the emergency pay? I don't quite understand. You mean for us to put in for the leave time that we have?
So you
all
won't
just take the...
You won't have to do anything. If we get this emergency pay approved, then we're going to have to pay out all your leave. So if you've got 80 hours of leave, it's going to be paid out. So, and then we will start paying you emergency pay, but there's nothing that you need to do on your end. I wanted to communicate this with you all because last month, or not even last month, 2 weeks ago when we met, we had a talk about you all not using all of your leave for October. But now with us requesting this emergency pay, we may have to go ahead and pay it all out in order to pay the emergency pay.
So we don't do anything until you notify us that we can go on, or you are just going to automatically put in that leave time for us if this get approved?
If this gets approved, we will automatically do it.
Okay.
You will know because you'll have a pretty fat check.
Okay. Okay. I'll take it.
Thank you. You're welcome. What other questions do you all have, if any, about this?
Melanie, I have one, but it's, I guess, I didn't, if what happened after the first of the year?
So the 10 weeks will actually take us through the end of January if we get approved.
Okay.
You will still get paid. Everybody will still get paid their holiday pay. It won't be, that won't be affected at all. And this, like I said, this will get us through the end of January.
And they'll still acquire leave, right?
Yes, you still will accrue leave time on the emergency pay. If you're on the phone, if you have a question, please hit *6 to ask your questions if you have any.
Melanie.
Yes, ma'am.
Holiday you put on your time sheet for 24th and the 25th. How do you put that? Do you put a time there, or do you write holiday?
So that's a great question. So on the timesheet for the holidays, actually the 25th and the 26th on your holiday, you just write the word holiday on those 2 days.
Okay.
Oh, I put checks on the holiday column.
That's for, oh no, you're right. I forgot. You could put the hours that you would normally serve, or just put an H and we'll pay. If you don't have a client you're serving, just put an H. Ms. Jackson, you could put the hours that you would normally serve on those days in the holiday column or a check mark.
Okay.
I forgot that we changed that on the timesheet. Thank you, Ms. Jackson.
Shirley, my minutes, my sale is running down. I've got 16%.
Okay.
So what should I put the time for this meeting on the training?
You could put 2 hours. 2.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And Miss Mel, I'll have to get back with y'all once my time build up. I have a couple of questions that I need to ask you and Miss Melissa.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. Bye.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye-bye, Ms. Jackson.
Bye.
Thank you for joining. All right, if there are no other
Yeah.
questions, we will go to the next slide. So thank you, Ms. Haynes. That was a great segue into the reminder. So November 25th and 26th are paid holidays. Mark them on your timesheet. You could put a check mark on those days in the holiday column on your timesheet. Okay. There will not be another in-service this month because the next one would have been on Thanksgiving. And I'm sure y'all don't want to get on here while you're eating turkey and dressing to talk with us. So.
You don't want to interrupt your meal either.
So enjoy the holiday with your loved ones. Be safe. And we will hope to see you all again on December 9th. Thursday, December 9th. Okay. That's the next in-service meeting that we'll have. And then one more reminder, timesheets. Everybody, even if you don't do anything but sign the timesheet, everybody should be mailing in a timesheet on the last day of the month. Everybody should be mailing in a timesheet on the last day of the month. So this is another one of those things that I want to get us back in the habit of, that we've gotten out of the practice of doing. Before the pandemic, if we didn't get a timesheet, you didn't get paid. We had to have a timesheet in order to pay you. That means everybody should be mailing a timesheet every month. Even if you don't have a client you're calling, even if you don't have a client you're going to visit, even if you don't participate in any training or anything, you still should sign a timesheet and mail it to the office every month. Okay.
Mail, fax, or email, scan.
Yes. All right.
Okay. And the holidays, what were the days? Just the 26th?
25th, Thursday, November 25th, Friday, November 26th.
Okay.
And then with that being said, with the Thanksgiving coming up, I think Ms. Willis, I don't know if she's still on the line. She asked earlier before the meeting got started if we were going to be doing another drive-through at the office. The answer is yes. It will actually be next Saturday. We are working with Any Step Community Services, and they are providing Thanksgiving food baskets to clients of the Senior Source. It is a drive-through event, so you will need to be able to drive through. And so please don't let us know right now. You can call us right after the meeting, but we'll add your name to a list if you are interested in participating in this drive-through event next Saturday. If next Saturday is not a good date for you, don't worry, there will be another one in December, okay?
Saturday, the
November 20th.
November 20th? Okay.
Yes. So if there's something you are wanting to participate in, please give Melissa, Melanie, or Constance a call after the meeting.
Is the drive-through going to be held at the Senior Source or
It
where?
will be at the Senior Source office.
Like it was before. Okay.
Yes. I'm going to ask you all to call us after 1 p.m. That way we can debrief and grab lunch. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
We can just call Melanie only. Oh, okay. Melissa?
Yeah,
Wait
that's
a minute.
perfect.
I thought you said. I thought you said.
Be able to get if everybody's
I
calling.
thought you said.
Henry was serious.
Yes. No, Miss Henry, you can call any of us.
Oh, okay. I thought you said that. All right then. Oh, okay.
You just gave me anxiety, Miss Henry.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Is that the last slide, Melissa?
That's the last slide. This Happy Thanksgiving.
Because this is our last time talking. Well, it won't be our last time talking to some of you, but this is our only in-service for the month. We just, as a team, really want to say Happy Thanksgiving to you and all of your loved ones. And I will speak for myself, but I think I can speak on behalf of Melissa and Constance in saying how thankful we are for each of you. not just for being companions and the service that you do out in the community, but for just being you.
Gonna come back and get my purse.
You all make doing this job worthwhile. On the days where it gets frustrating and hard or just challenging, like one of you all will inevitably call and say something that's uplifting and that's meaningful. And I just want you all to know how much we appreciate you. We honor you. We're grateful for you. And thank you for being you, for just simply being awesome, amazing people. And I'm grateful to work with each of you every day. Melissa, Constance, do you want to say anything?
Thank you for always smiling whenever we see you. You know, Jane said, smile more, and thank you for smiling. Makes a big difference.
We appreciate you guys, and we're awed by, I know I am awed by what you guys do at your age, and I'm just hoping that I can be like you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you. You all.
Miss Constant.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean at our age? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Somebody was gonna call on.
Who's gonna catch that?
I love you all too. I love you all. And thank you so very, very much. And my client is always saying hello, hello.
Hi, Miss Oblina. Miss Brashear, it looked like you were saying something, Miss Brashear. You were muted though, so I didn't get to hear you. Oh, you're still muted. Hit your phone and tap mute. Uh-oh, here, let me see.
I got it. I said we appreciate you all too.
Thank you.
It's been a blessing.
Thank you, Miss Brashear.
Y'all have a wonderful holiday, you ladies. Everybody, okay?
Everybody
You
have a
too,
safe
Miss
holiday too.
Thank you.
Same to you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Enjoy.
Be blessed.
Okay.
And you all can put
Melanie?
2 hours for training today.
All right.
Mhm.
Bye bye. Love you all.
Bye bye,
Thanks,
Miss
ladies.
Love you.
Yes,
love
ma'am.
you
Have a
more.
good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Miss Verda.
Bye-bye. God
Bye-bye.
bless each one of you.
Thank you. You too.
Same to
Miss-
you.
Thank
You want
you.
me to call you or what?
Miss Goodwin, yeah, give let's see, yeah, after one.
After one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shall do.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy your lunch.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Bye bye, Miss
Bye.
Human.
Bye.
Melanie.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Mabry.
Oh, I'm working with this phone. I had to get my colonoscopy done this morning. When I started to text Melissa,